Hi, everyone. I'm Kat Mortensen from Our America, and I'm so excited today to be joined by Pastor Patrick McClanahan. I think he goes by Pat Mac or Pastor Pat. He is with the Fellowship Bible Church from Tucson, Arizona. And what I want to talk to you about is this really great event that you have coming up. It's a week from today, so it'll be Monday, January 13th at the Arizona State Capitol. Why don't you tell us what is going on and how Our America is involved?
Well, I've been working for some time in terms of helping Christians become aware of our responsibility to be involved in state government, in the national government, to be not just sitting on the sidelines because there's just too much at stake for the good of our country. And so, about 3 years ago, a group called Center for Arizona Policy up in Phoenix invited us to come up to Phoenix on the opening day of the state legislative session. And at 7 o'clock in the morning, we come up, and there's about 300 of us this year who will be invited by the Arizona state government to walk into the state capitol building, into the houses of legislation, the judicial branch, and the governor's office. And we will lift them up in prayer, asking for God's favor and blessing upon their activities and the laws that they set and all of the efforts that they make to ensure that we live in a healthy republic. So we're very honored at the fact that this has been the initiation of the Arizona state government. They went through the Center for Arizona Policy, who actually sponsors the event, which is, again, a nonpartisan grassroots organization which wants to make the voice of the church known and represented in the halls of state government. So we're all part of that and very excited about yet another opportunity to go up there and be respectful and to be vocal and to say that we stand behind and we support our government.
Thank you, Pastor. And how is Our America involved with this event?
Well, a person with Our America, Paul Parisi, and I have partnered together for years at the local level, like meeting with the city council and letting our voices be made known. And then Paul basically became a specialist hired by Our America, and he reached out to me, and we've just formed a great partnership. And basically, we have hundreds of pastors who are learning how to become active in a respectful way in government. And Paul and I work on that together.
And at Our America, we're really focused on bringing people together with shared common values. Things like we all want safe communities, we want freedom of speech, we want freedom of thought and religion. We want to be able to have a thriving economy and fair elections, right? We're working to bridge a lot of those political divides. And it sounds to me like what you're doing is a very similar thing where you're keeping politics out of the room, but you're saying, hey, there are some things that we all agree on, and let's pray for those things.
Yeah, I'd say that the frame of reference of this, say, Our America, and as well, me as a pastor of a local church, is those issues that have a moral order or basically, let's say, a value that would have a Judeo-Christian ethic, or
Yeah.
those are things that just the very things that you said, right? Religious freedom, the voice of the unborn, a thriving economy, things that are just common values that the average American would go, and I believe this with all my heart that, the average American still holds on to traditional, say, American patriotic values. And we're very respectful of the fact that we live in a republic where everyone's voice should be made known, and we should have the ability to talk together and get along even when we have a different point of view. So we approach that from the end of, we're going to start by praying. And, when you pray, you have to humble your own heart first. And you have to take the speck or the log out of your own eye first. And you're actually praying for those who have responsibility for creating laws and health and prosperity in our country, which is our government.
So, Pastor, how can people get involved and sign up, or where do they have to go if they want to be a part of this? Just kind of tell me the logistics of how this is all going to work.
Well, it's we've learned that you've got to use the tools of technology. And so we send out emails, and there have probably been thousands of emails that have gone out to people who are involved with several groups like this. But what I've learned is the bottom line is there has to be a personal touch. So we make phone calls, we text people. I've been part of a movement for years here in Tucson. I've only been pastor at this church. I'm relatively new at it. I've only been here for 36 years in Tucson.
Mhm.
Doing this. So I know several of the pastors. I'm born and not born in Tucson, but I've lived here since 1963. And I've just been an active voice that's for everything that America stands for from that point of view of things that are true and good and right. And so we have a large contingency of people who were invited. And then even as a pastor, we encourage even our own church every Sunday, we have prayer for our government, for our president, for the Supreme Court, for school boards, all of these things that we would want to say we want to be actively involved in building unity in our community.
I really love that last thing you said about building unity, because that is the Our America focus as well, is to bring people together on shared common values. The things that you just mentioned are among those things. So if any of our America hometown volunteers or friends out there would like to attend, is there a website they go to? Do they need to sign up in advance, or where do they meet?
Yeah, everything that they need is on a website with for Tucson, and they'll see coming events, and they'll scroll down on that, and they'll see state trip to the a bus trip to the state capitol. They click on that; it gives them all the details. And again, for them, the great part is that they're going to go on a chartered bus, and it's going to cost them $10 to sign up, and we leave at early in the morning and we're back by 1:30 in the afternoon. So all the details they need are there to make this trip doable and impactful for the good of our entire state.
Pastor, thank you so much for what you're doing and sharing your message with us. Is there any final words you would like to add just about the importance of this day and what you hope to accomplish?
Well, I think that the role of Christians in our society are to be like salt and like light. And the salt, when you have a good meal, you don't just dump a whole salt shaker on it. There's a certain inviting fragrance that's because you know that you're winsome, but you're sincere and you're truthful. And so that's who we want to be, so that we have those who might even have different values than us. We say, why can't we sit down and talk about it, understand each other, but yet hold on to our convictions and work together? And isn't that what America is all about?
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Pastor Patrick McClanahan from the Fellowship Bible Church in Tucson, Arizona. We thank you for all that you're doing.
My pleasure. I enjoyed this conversation immensely.